Hello my beautiful beading friends, welcome to Misty Moon Designs. My name's Luisa. I have a real treat for you. We're going to be diving into a project reflecting the charm of the Southwest with a very pretty necklace featuring a striking silver tone skull pendant, and we'll be using the beads that came in the Curated Bead Box for the month of June. Now if you don't have that box, you can still make this project. I'll be leaving a list of all the materials down below in the description section of this video. I'll also leave a little bit of information on the Curated Bead Box along with a link to the website and a coupon code in case you're interested. And don't forget that I always model my jewelry at the end of my tutorials, so please stick around for that. Now before we jump into the project, I do want to give you a quick glimpse of the box. We'll spend about 5 minutes or so if you want to skip through that part, you can always click on the timestamps down below. I'll be walking you through each step of how I created this unique design using beads with pops of fuchsia and green, metallic accents, and knotted cord for a handcrafted boho vibe. Whether you're inspired by desert landscapes, western flair, or just want to try something new, this piece is full of personality and fun techniques that you can use again and again. So let's get started. And here we have Curated Bead Box for the month of June 2025. The name of this box is Western Whimsy, so that's a little hint about what's inside the box. Also, the label gives you a few clues as well. There's an image of cactus, and it looks like a lot of the colors are green. A little bit about this box. It's a subscription, and it goes for $20 a month. It usually comes with quite a few strands of different size beads, 10mm, 8mm, 6mm, but it also contains some metals as well, such as pendants and charms. Another nice thing about this box is that you get a finding starter kit, which includes a lot of the things you need to get started if you're new to this. It is a value box, so you normally don't get check beads or other kinds of beads that are more on the pricey side, but you do get quite a bit. And that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, I wanted to show you as well, there's a list of all the contents here on the left, and on the right are the codes for each one. So if you want to go to the store and get extras from the box, you can use these codes in the search field. It's a very interesting combination of colors. I see a neutral color as well. It looks like it's some kind of a gemstone strand, and the metals are silver. Let me get organized and we'll take a quick peek at all the items. Here are all the strands. There's a total of 8 strands in this month's box, and they range in size from 10mm to 6mm. These first 3 strands are 10mm in size. Then we have 4 strands of 8mm size beads and 1 strand of 6mm size beads. Let's take a quick look. These are glass pearls, and the color is soft green. And here we have a strand of malachite gemstone beads. They don't have a lot of striations or variations in color, but it's still nice that they included gemstones in this month's box. Here we have a strand of swirl marble style glass beads, and I love the color of these beads. The color is actually called jungle, but there isn't a lot of green in these. I'm seeing a lot of sandy colors and off-white. These are a little bit smaller. These are the 8mm size beads, and these are called duo style glass beads, and that's because they have 2 colors, pink and apple green. Here's another strand of gemstone beads, and I don't know what kind it is. It doesn't list it. They're just listed as opaque gemstone beads, and the color is white. And these are also gemstone beads. These are listed as natural jasper, a very nice neutral kind of bead to use in any design. And here we have a 4th strand of gemstone beads. So this box actually contains quite a few gemstone strands, which is nice. And these are rose quartz beads. And the final strand is the strand of 6mm glass beads. The effect on these beads is called abstract, and the color is meadow. It looks like the glass is green, but then it has that fuchsia metallic effect on top. So now that we've taken a look at the strands, let's take a look at the rest of the items. Here are the loose items. We still have the finding starter kit, which I'll show you in just a few moments. But anyways, you can see we have this bead mix. We have these oval shaped white colored beads. We have these very unusual frames. They're actually listed as bead frames. And then we have this very adorable collection of cacti pendants or charms. We have some cowboy hats, and we have this skull pendant. So if you love Western jewelry, you're going to love designing with this box. This actually reminds me of Texas. I lived in Texas for about 6 years, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. I have some fond memories. But anyway, I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this bead mix. I really do like working with bead mixes. They usually give me a lot of inspiration. And we have different sizes and shapes, as you can see. But there are two main colors, rose and green, which will obviously coordinate really nicely with the strands that I showed you. And these oval beads are very nice as well. I've worked with those before many times. I actually like putting bead caps on them. I'm not sure if that's what I'll do, but that's just an idea. And as far as these frames are concerned, I'm tempted to attach some beads to them using craft wire or file line, I'm not sure. But these are very, very large. Of course, you could always just hang something in the middle. I'm gonna have to take my time and really think about what to do with these. I love these charms, they're so adorable. Perfect for earrings because of the size. And these are cute too. There's the back side. I can see a pair of earrings with these as well. And this pendant is very unique. Look at that. How unique is that? Let me show you the back. There's the back. It's hollow in the back. It has a nice big loop or bail. So anyway, these are the loose items. And now I'm going to show you the Finding Starter Kit. And here we have the Finding Starter Kit. Like I mentioned earlier, you get a lot of the items that you need to get started. It doesn't have everything, but it has the basics. So if you're new to jewelry making, you're going to appreciate this kit. Let me show you. We have some memory wire, and I believe this one measures 60 millimeters in diameter, and it's the 0.7 millimeter thickness. We have some beading wire, and I think there's about a yard's worth. We have some flat head pins, and these are very thick, as you can see. We have some jump rings, and these are also very thick, and I think these measure about 6.5 millimeters across. We have some crimp beads. These are the round crimp beads, they're not the tubes. We have some ear wire hooks. There's a total of 6 in this bag. We have some lobster clasps, and there's a total of 4, as you can see. And we have some stretch cord. It's very thick stretch cord, which means you can use it with large beads. So if you're new to jewelry making, but you don't know what to get, this definitely helps you get started. I really like it. So here's the entire collection. As you can see, we have quite a few beads here, and I'm super happy that there are 4 strands of gemstones this month. I will confess, I rarely work with a Western theme, but I do have some ideas going through my head. And if you're looking to build up your bead stash, this is a good way to get started because for $20 you get quite a bit. And of course you get the Finding Starter Kit, which is very helpful. So anyway, hopefully this gives you some idea of what comes in the Curated Bead Box. And now that we've taken a quick look, let's go ahead and jump into today's project. Here are some of the items we're going to use for today's necklace. Now these all came in the Curated Bead Box for the month of June, but I am going to be using some other beads from a previous box. And I'll explain why in just a few moments. But anyway, these came in a bead mix that came in the box. I believe the name of the bead mix was Desert Cactus Bead Mix, and these are called Abstract Glass Beads. They're green colored, but then they have this fuchsia effect on the sides. It's kind of a metallic effect. These measure 6 millimeters across, and these measure 6 millimeters across as well, but they're kind of like a disc shape, so they're actually 6 by 4.5, something like that. And of course we have this pendant down here. It measures 36 by 34 millimeters. At first I didn't know what to do with it, but I think it's very unique looking and I like the size. I also like that it has a nice big loop on the top. And there's the back. And as you can see, the horns are black colored. So in order for me to use it effectively in a design, I had to find a bead that's black colored. So I went into one of the previous boxes. I believe it was May 2023. The name of the box was Ebony and Ivory. This one right here, as you can see, the colors are primarily white and black. And these are the beads that I found in that box. These are kind of oval shaped, and they have a silver stripe on the sides, as you can see. The other thing I wanted to do is to tie in the silver from the pendant, which is why I chose those. But I felt like I needed something else that was silver, so I found these. These are metal beads from my own collection. The only problem is that the holes are a little bit large, but I have a solution for that. Let me just move these over a little bit. And I believe these measure 8 by 6 millimeters, something like that. And these measure 6 millimeters across. But you can use any beads, honestly. It's up to you. I do want to mention something though. I only found 13 of these in that bead mix. Let me just show you what it looks like. As you can see, there are other beads there as well. And there were some that were very similar, but they were opaque. And those are transparent. I wanted to go with the transparent ones. And I'm mentioning this because you may have something different in your bead mix, but you could mix them up. You could have some of the opaque ones and some transparent ones. And of course, we're going to be using some nylon cord. I'm going to be using this color. I believe the color is camel, and this is 0.8mm nylon cord. I got it on Amazon. So anyway, guys, these are all the beads and we're going to get started. But in order for my camera to focus, I'm going to have to clear my table, because if I don't do that, my camera tends to focus on what's on the table instead of my hands. So let me clear everything and I'll be right back. I'm going to start by cutting myself 3 long pieces of nylon cord, and it's all based on how long you want your necklace. Keep in mind that we're going to be doing some macrame, so you want to make sure you have enough nylon cord. I haven't really decided how long I want my necklace to be. I'm thinking maybe a choker length, but if you want something longer, obviously you're going to need more cord. And since cord is so cheap, guys, just go ahead and cut yourself the most that you can, so you won't have any trouble when you go to do your macrame. I'm going to cut myself 3 pieces that are 55 inches long, so let me go ahead and do that. So here are my 3 pieces. I'm going to bring my ends together like this, and I'm going to attach a clip to them. And this is just an alligator clip, but it's pretty strong, just like that. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want my 3 pieces to stay together. In other words, I want them lined up like this. So now I'm going to go through this bail, or this loop, and I'm going to find the center. Make sure they're lined up. And now I'm going to create a knot, and it's going to be a simple overhand knot. Bring it down. Make sure it's nice and tight. I'm going to pull on each one. So there's my knot. That looks pretty good. And now I'm going to separate my 6 pieces. Let me remove this clip. I want 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. Just like that. I'm going to attach a clip at this end again so I don't get confused. Like that. And now I'm ready to attach some beads. To make the knots, I'm going to use these tweezers. These are jewelry tweezers. And if you don't have these, you can use round nose pliers. I've done that before, but it's just so much easier with tweezers. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create a knot on one of these strands. And I'm going to create my knot pretty close to the big one at the bottom. So I'm going to make a loop, go through the loop like this, and pull. Something like this. And it really doesn't matter how close to this knot you make it. You can make it really close if you want to, or you can leave a little space like I did. Now, one thing I do want to show you in case you make a mistake, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you right now. If you need to undo a knot because you've made a mistake, it's very easy to do. I usually use round nose pliers for this. I feel like round nose pliers works a little bit better than anything else. And you just gently pull it apart like this. You do need to take your time because you don't want to damage that nylon cord. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out all the way. Just like that. It's very, very easy. Since I'm here, let me just move my knot down a little bit more. There we go. And that's how you undo a knot. So now I'm just going to start attaching beads. Now to make it easier to attach beads, I recommend that you burn your ends off. So let me go ahead and do that. I use finger protectors for this because I don't like to feel the heat. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to that. I got these on Amazon, by the way. These are hot glue gun finger protectors. So now I'm going to attach a bead, and I think I'm going to attach one of these abstract glass beads. Slide it down to where the knot is, make a loop, go through the loop, and with my tweezers I'm going to go through the loop and grab the cord that's right by the bead like this. Make sure that you're up against the bead, just like that, and pull. Slide it out and slide that knot down. And that's how you attach a bead. Very, very simple. Now you need to decide where you want to attach your next bead, and I like to space them out at about, I would say, 10 millimeters apart, or 3/8 of an inch. So let me make a loop. Go through the loop. I'm going to go through that loop with my tweezers, grab the cord on the other side of it, space it out to where I want it. Like I said, I like 10 millimeters, something like that, and then pull. So there's another knot. Let me attach one of these now. This is one of the barrel beads with a silver stripe. Like so. Make a loop. Go through the loop. Go through the loop with the tweezers. Grab the cord like that and pull. And then slide the knot down. So now I have 2 beads attached. I'm going to make another loop, go through the loop, go through the loop with the tweezers to about 10 millimeters. That looks about right, and pull. You tighten it up. So there's the next knot. I think I'll attach one of these faceted beads now. Make another loop. Go through the loop with the tweezers and pull. So there we go. So now that's attached. Make another loop. Now this time I'm going to make this knot a little bit different because these beads have large holes. So I'm going to go through the loop 2 times. Just like that. Go in with my tweezers to get the spacing right. I think that's good. And now I'm going to pull. So now as you can see, that knot is pretty big and it shouldn't go through the whole of that bead. That looks good. And now I'm going to do the same kind of knot. So I'm going to go through the loop 2 times. Grab the cord, make sure I'm right up against the bead, and pull. And that's how you attach beads that have large holes. And that's basically it. It's really pretty simple. So I'm going to keep attaching more beads until I get a length that's about 4.5 inches worth. That's something you're going to have to decide depending on how long your necklace is. And I'm going to do the same thing for all 6 pieces of cord, but you do want a kind of staggered effect. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a few moments. So let me keep going until I get 4.5 inches worth, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've attached the beads that I want, and I wanted to mention something that I forgot about because I know somebody's going to ask me. If you have to undo a knot, I recommend that you use round nose pliers for a reason, and that is because the tips aren't as sharp as the tips on the tweezers. Because if you try to use the tweezers, you may end up tearing through the cord. As you can see, these tips are pretty sharp, but if it's easier for you to use tweezers, by all means use them. So anyways, you can see I've continued the pattern. So I have an abstract glass bead, an oval bead, one of the faceted disc beads, a metal bead, abstract, oval, faceted disc bead. But you don't have to have a structured pattern like this. You can just attach the beads randomly if you want to. So now I'm going to attach beads to the next cord over, and when I attach them, I want them to sit in between the beads in the spaces that you see, if that makes any sense. And I think I'm going to start with a metal bead right there, and then I'll continue the same sequence that I used on this first cord. So let me go ahead and create my knot. And since I'm using a metal bead, I need to do a double knot. So I'm going to start at about here. That's where I'm going to place my first double knot. I think that's what you call them. Sometimes I make up words or names. So as you can see, I went through the loop twice, and now I'm going to go in with my tweezers and grab the cord on the other side of the loop. And let me see where I need to place the knot. I think I'm going to place it somewhere here. Let me go ahead and pull my cord. Before I tighten it, I want to double check. That looks about right. And now let me slide it down. Double check again. And like I said, guys, don't panic too much because you can always undo them. Although I will say that it's a little bit more challenging to undo one of these double knots. I did burn my cord end, by the way. Let me check again. I think that looks good. So now I'm going to do another double knot. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the cord right up against the bead like this and pull and slide the knot down. Let's take a look. Let me untangle this mess. There we go. And that's what you want. You want to place your beads in the gaps just like that. So the next one's going to be placed somewhere in this vicinity. And I'm going to go with the abstract bead. So I'm going to make a loop, go through the loop, let me place it down, double check my spacing. I want to make the first knot at about here. Let me go ahead and pull. And I'm going to double check again, just to make sure that I get it right. I think that's right. Let me just slide it down a little bit. It should actually be 10 millimeters or 3/8 of an inch. But, you know, the beads are different lengths, and that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to be a little bit more precise. Okay. I'm going to slide the bead on. create a loop, go through the loop, grab the cord on the other side of the loop, and pull, and slide the knot down to tighten it up. So now we have 2 beads attached, and that's what you want. You want the beads to sit in the gaps just like that. So anyway, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep attaching my beads until I get 4.5 inches approximately. And I'm going to do that with all of my strands, including the ones on this side. I'm going to do it off camera to save time. And then when I come back, we'll finish the necklace. So I'll see you in a few moments. As you can see, I've completed all 6 strands and it's looking beautiful already. I love it. I love all the different kinds of beads, and I like the touch of silver as well because it picks up the silver from the pendant like I mentioned before. So now we're going to finish the top of the necklace, and to do that I'm going to gather these 3 strands and I'm going to do an overhand knot right there. Let me just remove this so it's out of the way. So I'm just going to take my strands like this and do a simple overhand knot. Nothing special. Let me just make sure they're all even. I'm going to slide my knot down to where my thumb is, my thumbnail. And now all 3 strands are knotted off. Let me do the same thing on this side. And I do recommend that you pull on each one. To make sure the knot is nice and tight. So this part's done, and that was definitely very easy to do. So basically, to recap, your first strand is going to be pretty easy because you're going to space out your beads evenly. But if you have beads of different sizes, you're going to have a little bit of a challenge doing the other 2 strands because you're going to have to try to space them out so they fit in the gaps like I mentioned before. Now, if you were to use beads that are exactly the same size and shape, you won't have as much trouble because your spacing is going to be the same on all 6 strands. I hope that makes sense. So now I want to slide a middle bead on top of those 2 knots. And I was going to use these because these have large holes, but I think they're a bit too large. So instead I'm going to use these. These have large holes as well, but not as large as the other ones. So I'm just going to slide all 3 strands through that hole. Hopefully they'll fit in. Just like that. And that kind of adds a little decorative touch at the top. Let me do this side. I really do love the way this necklace looks. So now we're going to do a little bit of macrame at the top. I'm going to clip off these strands on the left just to keep them together and out of the way. And actually I'm going to remove this mat and I'm going to place my necklace down. Sorry about the noise. And I'm going to have to secure my necklace by putting something heavy on top of it. I'm going to put this roll of nylon cord on top. Hopefully that'll be sufficient. Let me separate my cords at the bottom. I have a center cord, which I'm going to secure with some tape, and it's just Scotch tape. I'm going to secure it at the bottom. I know you can't see it, but I'm just taping it to my table. So now we're going to do the snake knot, and everybody does it differently, guys, okay? I'm just going to show you the way I do it. I'm going to take my left cord and bring it down. I'm going to take my right cord and go underneath both cords like this, and then over, back to the right side. So I went underneath both cords first and then over all 3 cords. And now I'm going to take the left cord and I'm going to go underneath all of the cords at the intersection, and I'm going to come up through the loop here, just like that, and pull. Slide it up. So there's my first snake knot. Once again, I'm going to take the left cord, bring it down. I'm taking the right cord and I'm going to go underneath the 2 cords, just like that. And then I'm going to take it back over and lay it on top of all 3 cords, just like that. And now I'm going to take the left cord and I'm going to go underneath all of them here at the intersection, and I'm going to come up through this loop on the left and pull. Let me just tighten it up a little bit. Hopefully you can see it. It's a little difficult because the cord is brown. I'm going to take the right cord and I'm going to go underneath both cords in the center and then back over all of the cords to the right side. And now I'm going to take the left cord to this side and go underneath all of them and come up through the loop and pull. Let me bring it down. Take the right cord, go underneath both cords, like so. Go back over, lay my cord on top, take the left cord, go underneath all of the cords like this, and then up through the loop and pull. Let me show you again. I'm taking the right cord, going underneath the 2 cords in the center, bringing it back over to the right and laying it on top of all the cords. Take the left cord, go underneath all of the cords and then up through the loop on the left. You do want to make sure your loops aren't all twisted like this. Sometimes it's a little challenging when that happens. It does take practice, guys, okay? So don't get frustrated. So once again, I'm going to lay my left cord back down, take the right cord, go underneath both cords in the center, like that. Bring it back over to the right. Take the left cord, go underneath all of the cords, and then up through the loop and pull. that's all there is to it. Let me show you. I think it's a very nice knot and relatively easy to do. Like I said, just keep practicing if you don't get it right the first time. And eventually, hopefully, you'll get it. So anyway, I'm going to keep going until I get the length that I want. Keep in mind that the cord end tips, jump rings, and clasp are going to add to the overall length. And I'm going to be using some pretty long cord end tips, which I'll bring out in just a few moments. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add an extended chain as well. So I have the option of wearing it longer if I want to. So let me keep going off camera. And then when I come back, we'll attach the cord end tips and everything else. So I'll see you in a few moments. As you can see, I completed my macrame at the top of the necklace. I also attached one cord end tip so you can see how it looks. Here's the other one. It's pretty long. I think it measures about 14 millimeters in length, and that loop actually measures 5 millimeters in length, so it's pretty big, and it has a nice big hole, as you can see. And guys, don't ask me where I got it because I've had these forever in my storage. But if you go on Amazon and do a search, or Etsy, and just search for cord end tips with loops, you should be able to find something similar. Keep in mind that you're going to have to be able to fit the strands inside, so just make sure that you get some with a large opening. So let me show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to snip off these ends. Let me just do one at a time. And I'm leaving about, I would say 2 to 3 millimeters, something like that. And I'm going to melt it down. Let me do this one now. And the third one. So that should hold everything in place. Plus we're going to be adding some glue. And you place a piece of paper underneath. I'm going to use this one. This one's called Loctite and it's super glue. I like to use it because it has a small tip. And I'm just going to put some inside the cord end tip. And I'm kind of placing it on the sides of the cord end tip. I'm not just squeezing it in the middle. I'm kind of going along the sides, if that makes any sense. And now I'm going to go ahead and insert my strand as far in as I can go. Sometimes it helps if you spin it around like this a little bit. Or just wiggle it in. I think it's in there pretty good. But I'm not going to mess with it because I want that glue to dry. But I think they look really, really cute, don't they? I love this finished look. So anyway, let me let these dry a little bit, and then I'll come back and attach the clasp. Okay, I think the glue has dried enough. Here's my clasp. Here's an extended chain. It measures about 2 inches. Here are a couple of jump rings. I think they measure 4 millimeters in size. I do want to embellish the extended chain, so I have an abstract bead on a ball head pin. I'm going to grab the ball head pin with my round nose pliers like this, bend it, reposition my pliers, wrap the tail around the nose of the pliers, flip the pliers around, continue to wrap to the back. Let me open up this loop, slide my chain into it, like this. Grab the loop with these pliers. I love these pliers because they have skinny tips and they grab really well. And with these pliers, I'm going to grab the tail and do some wraps. And I think I'm going to do maybe 3 wraps this time. You can do as many wraps as you want to. With my flush cutters, I'm going to snip off the excess pin. Tuck in the little end. So there's my little dangle. Let me open up one of these jump rings. Slide my chain into it. Attach it to this loop and close up my jump ring. Let me open up this one now. Slide my lobster clasp into it and attach it to this loop and close it up. As you can see, the cord-in tips and the jump rings and the clasp definitely added some length. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I really like this necklace. I hope you like it as well. I think all these beads really complement the longhorn skull or cow skull. I think it's a cow because the horns are a little bit shorter. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's a very nice southwestern kind of look, but chic at the same time. As always, I'd like to go ahead and put it on for you and show you what it looks like. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye.